Hey athletes, it's time to talk about the bent over row. Now before we even get going, make sure you've seen the video on body weight rows so that you guys understand what we expect when we do a row and how it needs to feel. Make sure you get good practice with that before we do this. Also, check out our hinging videos with our RDLs or our kettlebell deadlift. That way we know that you know the basics before we try to add some serious load to this. Let's get into the bent over row. So just like the RDL, I'm going to hinge over, making sure, just like with the RDL, my knees stay fixed, I hinge at the hip, and I'm trying to keep my body in as straight of a line as possible. Now, my flexibility allows me to get the bar below my knees, and from here I'll do my row. Now remember, on these rows, we want to make sure that we eliminate as much body motion as possible, okay? We just want these muscles, right? My mid back, all of the muscles in my mid back, we want those to be doing the work, okay? I don't want you flailing around. I don't want your hips to move. I want your hips to stay fixed. Your hamstrings support your body as you do your row, okay? Let's see a few more. Nice smooth pulls. Very little motion in my body, right? So, things to remember. Try to keep your wrists as straight as possible. Okay, this will help take the pressure out of our bicep and help put it into our back. When I do this, I'm trying to put as much squeeze through my hands as I possibly can because the harder I squeeze, the easier it is for me to pull. And again, my core has to be nice and tight. I need to be nice and flat. That way I can control this bar through the range of motion because that's what's going to ultimately change my body, is being able to control heavier and heavier weights in this exact same manner. Now, as I start to get fatigued, I'm going to have to rest below my knee. Now, you didn't see my body position change at all. My hips and my knees stayed exactly where they were. I paused below the knee for a second. I made sure I took that good breath, braced again before I started pulling. Big breath, pull. So again, even as I was starting to fatigue, the most important thing is that we keep our hinge as safe as possible, okay? Again, my hamstrings are supporting my body. My glutes are supporting my body, not necessarily just my lower back. Now, your lower back does come into play a little bit, but not so crazy that we see this overextending arch, okay? This last repetition was about the most arch you see me. And again, I stay very, very similar the entire time, trying not to let my body move. And again, even on this last repetition, as I'm squeezing it out, you'll see just a slight arch. But again, after 10 repetitions, I'm doing my best to make sure that I can keep my body in control. So there you have it. There's a bent over row done the right way, keeping your core on so that your whole back can do this pull. I'll see you next time.